Um, yeah, I'm bored. I figured why not, since Steve is taking his sweet time, labbing a matchup. No, this is gonna be. Oh, I should. Whoops. This is gonna be a feedback slash critique. Hopefully, some food for thought for Secret Snakes. Uh, the Eddy matchup. He's like fucking Schrodinger's character. All the players hate him, and then you ask any top players like, "Oh, Eddy trash, Eddy trash, no good, no good," which is a tragedy. I don't know. Look, here's some disclaimers, right? The usual one. I'm not like a Tekken pro or some shit. I just like Tekken. I like Armor King, even though I'm just a Paul main or whatever. And my advice is not necessarily gospel. It's just kind of like, hey, here's my 2 cents based on what I've seen in the past, based on what I've seen from myself playing AK and also other AK players. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. There's only so much information we can give you. At some point, you're just gonna have to grind out this matchup, and or going into the lab. Eddy's just a really, really tricky character. The overarching themes that you're gonna see are that one, you are never the aggressor if you can help it. You, as we'll see at the start of this match, anytime that you try to put on the aggression and your move doesn't have like the fattest ass like God, like I don't even know, Nicki Minaj fat ass style hitbox, you do not touch that move because it is very likely that Eddy will go onto the fourth dimensional axis and just evade that shit. So the overarching theme is you're going to be, it's like a war of attrition. You're going to be moving around the screen as much as you can, trying to bait out whiffs from this Eddy as much as you can, and then immediately go in with like a quick poke or whiff punish, right? And this is fine because you have some really strong long range whiff punishers with down back 2-4, forward 2-1, etc. Right? Provided you are doing a whiff punish. Forward 2-1, provided it's a whiff punish, solid hitbox, and down back 2-4, solid hit. Down back 2 especially, just really good hitbox. So at least with down back 2, you can sort of have like a little bit of an insurance policy there of making sure you hit relax when needed. Right? And it's approach safely or deal with this kind of playstyle. Oh my god, this is gonna be tough. In terms of how do you deal with like keep out stuff, you just have to. It's really just about baiting it out, right? If the dude is patient, you still have tools to do something about it, right? But it's also gonna require a lot of near expert level movement on your side because you're playing AK. The benefit is that you are playing a character with a wave dash, right? The problem is that you're playing a character with a wave dash, and to really fully utilize wave dash mix-ups and stuff can often require some execution finesse. And if you've already put in the work for it, more power to you. You're coming in from Jin, right? So you should have some sort of like familiarity with it. I'm not sure how crucial a wave dash is to Jin, but it's that's going to be very key in how you're able to bait whiffs from your opponent, control space, track, etc., etc. Right? So let's see how this goes. Okay, right here. Oh damn, AK's a fucking thick boy. Happy Valentine's Day, folks. Why the power crush? Immediately right off the bat, why the power crush? What were you? It's like even if you weren't like say, even if the Eddy did throw out a move, right? And what does Eddy have that's actually really oppressive outside of his little slide that he does, right? That will generate plus frames for him. Eddy's not exactly like this big ass plus frame generating monster. Like he doesn't have that crazy mix ups like Horang does. A lot of his stuff on block isn't exactly that oppressive, and you are losing out a lot by gambling everything on a power crush, because the moment Eddy does his little slide, he just counter hit launches you for free. So try to avoid big commitment heavy moves. Try to avoid power crushes because you're just asking for trouble. Like that. Another thing is that Aki's power crush doesn't really move him forward that much. So any sort of you're gonna see throughout the match that it's really just about making sure that you don't overextend and don't whiff too many excess buttons, because at any point the Eddy can just do that stupid ass whiff punisher of his and then you get launched. Okay, so again, right here, why are you? What are you hoping to magic for? Look at how low to the ground this guy is, and he's just gonna do it again. And arguably, you can say like you had no idea. You're just hoping to like magic for something. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. Again, AK's magic 4 is trash, right? 13 frames is not what you want from a magic 4. Does it counter hit launch? Kinda. I mean, realistically, the best you're gonna get is a shoulder. You say what you will, maybe you can pull off the execution needed and you actually make it an actual counter hit launcher. 13 frames is not a counter hit, or is not an ideal like counter hit launcher for these types of situations, right? and it's like it's 13 frames, and also Eddy's hitting you. I'm not gonna say he's like +3 or whatever. I don't know how exactly plus this move is, but the point being, oh wait, did you block something? No, he's doing it again. The point being is, when an opponent hits you with a move, any move, you're more than likely at a negative frame. So now your 13 frame is 15 or is 14, 15, who knows what, right? So he hits you, you press a 13 frame button that even if the Eddy pressed like back 3-3, which is like his 14 frame thing or whatever, he would have likely beaten you, right? In a perfect world, let's ignore online lag for now. So again, you got to be very judicious. Try to avoid too many slow moves. If the move is slow, it has to be a mid, because the mids will typically have a better hitbox and hit Eddy out of any shenanigans, right? If it's a high, avoid it as much as you can. Eddy's evasion and slipperiness is just too annoying to deal with, and you'll most likely get counter hit out of stuff more than anything, right? Lab the throw. I'm pretty sure Rodeo is a 1+2 break, but I heard he has like an unbreakable throw or some shit. I think that's from handstand, but I guess we'll go over some Eddy stuff in a bit. We'll worry about matchup stuff later. Okay. Okay. Oh man, that's a risky. It's not the worst thing, honestly. Okay, so right here, look, this Eddy's like throwing out some buttons. You want to go in a little bit, do an extra dash in here. Right here, I felt like you could do down back 2-4. Right around here. So this is gonna be tricky part. I'm reaching out to any AK, like actual AK mains out there. If this is wrong, please correct me. Okay. So right around this range, Eddy's in relax is kind of a tricky situation, but down back 2-4 should hit. Down back 2 has got a really good hitbox, and it'll easily hit Eddy out of relax. You have other tools that will definitely hit him out of relax, right? Like forward 4, but the problem is forward 4 is too slow, right? We'll talk about like timing and opportunity stuff later, but right now, when you're at this range, I don't think down 2 would reach, but you can try and test and see. Just do down back 2 by itself and see if it reaches. I think you're still kind of risk it whipping, but down back 2 has such good range. I honestly think you'd make it, but we'll see. Anyway, another thing to consider is that your moves to sort of poke with relax, down 4, down 3+4. Down back 3 is too slow. It's a decent move, and if the Eddy is coming in at you, you can arguably use it as keep out. But if you're trying to go in at the Eddy, you're risking a lot, because at any point the Eddy could be backdashing, and Eddy's backdash is one of the best in the game, right? That hasn't changed. And so he could easily backdash out of range and then whiff punish you for it while you're recovering. I think down back 3 is too commitment heavy. So down 3+4, because it's got really great range and will definitely, and hits grounded, right? Don't finish the string. Don't commit to any strings, but down 3+4, down 4. Those are your friends. Are they necessarily explosive? No. But they are safe pokes that you just poke at your opponent, get in your chip damage, and then when you have better knowledge of, okay, the Eddy is going to go for X move in this situation. Like, once you have a better read on what your opponent is going to do, then you can go for more explosive stuff. But if you're still trying to figure shit out, there are no better tools than, down 4, down 3+4. Down 3+4, try to be mindful of your distance, try to be a little bit far away from it, so the -5 on hit doesn't come back to hit you. But it's valuable because it'll hit Eddy out of whatever he's in. All right. You down by 4, which is fine. Again, don't approach with high moves. You're risking a lot, right? You're really risking a lot. At any point, the Eddy could just jump away, or maybe forward 4-3 would be fine. You're risking a lot. I've just noticed anytime that there's a high involved, Eddy finds a way out of it. So just be very cautious. Don't commit to strings. The smarter Eddy player would just duck and launch you, but it's fine because you didn't get punished. Rip. What were you? Did you press a move? Kind of looked like it. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see how it goes. Wait, is this chick's name really Milky? That's pretty funny. Okay. God damn. I agree to you. I do believe that using forward 2-1 is good in this matchup, but just sort of YOLO forward 2-1ing is gonna get you killed. And yeah, there's also that. Don't rush in against Eddy. Don't do slash kick unless you're guaranteed for sure that the Eddy's gonna wake up into it, right? Armor King, like slash kick is linear as fuck, right? So anything that the Eddy does that involves like a pixel of a sidestep, even Eddy's like shitty sidestep will likely avoid it. Again, you want to use moves that have as little commitment as possible. They either recover fast on whiff, safe on block, recover fast on block, so they're typically -1 to -4, etc., etc., etc. None of these big, long, startup, commitment-heavy moves. Yes, those have typically better rewards, but you don't know enough about your opponent in order to actually, capitalize on those plus frame situations. All right. Rip. Practice float combos and stuff, right? A lot of stuff Eddy can float. I know some characters can float him out of relaxed stuff. Other characters don't have that luxury. I'm pretty sure the AK Discord has discussed it at some point about like, hey, here's what floats Eddy out of relax. You can try checking the matchup channel, specifically #Eddy, to see if there's anything posted there. But you have a few options, so just be mindful of those. Okay, so right here, you're okay. Goddamn. Right here, I agree with this. Use the wave dash. Start using the wave dash. Start wave dashing in on him. See what he does. But keep in mind, you have the life lead. Eddy does not. Right? Eddy's approach is ass. It is a much easier time for him if you chase him down. Right? If you force the Eddy to approach you, and the Eddy, really he's like very greedy and he wants like some big explosive play, he's gonna commit to some very risky moves, typically like slide or something else. Right? Your life is gonna be a lot easier if you force the Eddy to come to you. So while I agree that using crouch dash, wave, whatever is a good idea in this situation, why are you approaching the Eddy? Why? Right? If he's a keep out monster, who cares if he's keeping out if you have the life lead, right? He run out the clock. He can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have the life lead. He's not going to get the round. So be mindful of, all right, if you have the life lead, just run the fuck away. Be mindful you don't back yourself into the wall or a corner, but just get the fuck out of there. Force the Eddy to approach you and try to bait out whiffs and focus on whiff punishing. Oh, there's a helicopter. It's probably in the audio. My bad. Alright, it's gone now. Oh, dear lord. Okay, so... Nice. Good, got him wake up into it. Nice. Nice. See, so again, it's that. Oh shit. You put on the mix-up, back away from him, and force the Eddy to commit to something to approach you. This is your ideal, right? And it could be it'll be tough at first, but you just have to be mindful of the life situation. The moment you get the advantage, just run away with the advantage, right? There is nobody pointing a gun to your head saying, all right, now you got to chase down this Eddy, right? If you're really feeling yourself and you're feeling the momentum and you're just making all the right reads, more power to you. I'm just saying in general, right? Why? What are you dark uppering? Was it a missed input? I'm not gonna. Okay, if this was a missed input, don't take what I say too harshly. But it's just like avoid too many buttons and whiffing mindlessly, coming from the guy who whiffs mindlessly a lot. Oh, a tragedy. Okay, so right here, this is what I'm talking about. Again, it's not even like everybody is at the same life. Nobody's gone, drawn first blood, and already the Eddy is gearing up to like throw big Hail Marys your way, right? But you're already committing to move that you don't have to. This should tell you that the opponent right now is at least a little bit trigger happy. Like he's ready to just kind of throw stuff at you, and all you need to do is exercise a bit of patience, and you have a whiff punishment opportunity right there. Unfortunately, you're already committed to something, but just food for thought is, again, let the opponent come to you, right? If they're showing that they're very aggressive and they like to move around a lot and approach you with stuff, why create extra work for yourself? If you don't have a reason to go in, don't waste your energy and time. All right. Okay, so what's going on here, right? Are you pressing buttons? Why do you keep trying to challenge whatever the Eddy's doing? What are you possibly pressing that's really gonna beat anything he does? If the opponent hits you, even if it's like a string or a poke, they're most likely at plus frames. You have to be very particular with what moves you're using. So right here, at most, just do back 1-4 if you really need a panic tool. The ideal scenario, just block. Just block. Don't open yourself up to, getting counter hit launched and pressing into something that you shouldn't, right? You just have to be patient. I don't know if forward 2-1 or down back 2-4 would have reached. I don't think down forward 2 would have reached. We'll talk about that later. Okay. Tragedy. Okay, so I don't know. I felt like a wave dash that was fine. I mean, don't commit to like 2 crouch dashes at most. Maybe do 1 and then just block. Right. I feel like that was just unfortunate timing. Like he just decided to go for it and he hit you out of whatever you're doing. A bit more patient there, which is good. Just unfortunate. It seems to be like a lack of matchup knowledge, which is understandable. What happens here? Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's the fucking rodeo throw. This shit's annoying. Okay. Rip. So, right here, you're doing a lot of crouch dashing into ducking. Why? And throughout the entire set, if you look at what like the Eddy's been hitting you with, it's just been mid after mid after mid, and then that throw at the very end. Like right here, that's a mid, that's a mid. I think there's like 1 or 2 highs mixed in there, right? So why are you again? It's just very confusing as to why you'd be ducking in that scenario. And the Eddy sees this, right? Like he sees you kind of wave dashing and ducking in, so he sees, okay, you're gonna wave dash in, you're gonna wave dash duck, and he's just gonna do like the move he does right here. I believe is mid high, right? That little like weird ass sidestep thing. And now he gets a big ass combo. I'll chalk it up to matchup, like lack of matchup experience. I just don't really see why you would start like trying to duck in like that. I felt like you're fine just wave dashing in and then holding back to block, right? Eddy doesn't have any like crazy ass long range lows outside of the slide, which is, I want to say it's reactable, right? Especially like look at the range you're at, right? So let's say hypothetically, let's say hypothetically, right, you're wave dashing in and you're just holding back to block. What is the Eddy gonna do from this range? That's not a mid, right? He's not gonna throw you. He doesn't have some crazy long range high. He has to dash in for like the slide and other stuff, right? So there's no reason for you to be ducking, right? But now, because he knows you're ducking, you dash in, once you space, and then boom, he launches at you with that mid high stuff, right? So be mindful of the ranges you're at, and once you're more familiar with Eddy, you can be more mindful of like the matchup of the options he has and the ranges they're at. The long-winded way of saying, at the range you were at, just block. There's no reason to be ducking. There's not really sure why that was happening. Oh. Why? Again with the overcommitment on this power crush, right? Like you're just going for a big Hail Mary, and it just seems like it's more of a frustration thing as opposed to actually like any sort of real reason. Let's just keep. Okay, I guess that was the round. Okay. Oh baby. Let's go the usual. Neutral, punishment / matchup knowledge, combos / Oki, personal opinion stuff, right? So neutral, you're overcommitting on all these moves all over the place. Power crush here, dark upper there, down forward 2 here and there. Just like these weird sort of, alright, these are the moves that work out most of the time, so I'm just going to use them. Dark upper is a whiff punish. That's it, right? And the problem is that in order to really get like, if you're really wanting to be a very fast whiff punish, it doesn't have that much range. If you want to extend the range by like, increasing your crash dash a little bit, you reduce the speed, so it's very likely that the opponent is gonna recover in time. Eddy is very rarely going to whiff a button to the point where he will both be in a recoverable state, where both that he is going to have like enough whiff recovery where dark upper is going to reach it comfortably, right? And you can be like slightly easy on the execution or sloppy with the execution and still get it, and also be in a state where a high is going to reliably reach him, right? So even though, normal situations, your dark upper is your ideal whiff punish, you have to understand when you're playing Eddy, you're not playing Tekken. You're and before people get up in arms, I don't just follow along with the analogy. You have to understand that you are playing his game, right? You have to adjust to that. So avoid any highs, too many highs without fully being like, okay, I know he is not gonna duck this. Then you can do like lariat or throw or some shit, right? And try to avoid just kind of like too laggy on the whiff punishment. We'll talk about that later. Wave dashing into while standing 4. You could use wave dashing into forward 3/4, wave dashing into forward 3, wave dashing into down forward 4 as like a quick mid check against any of his shenanigans, right? That's typically what you want to be doing, right? If you need like a big ass mid, forward 4, that can be some options, right? Focus on utilizing more mids. Focus on utilizing, stuff that doesn't take light years or that doesn't take like centuries to recover from whiff, like dark upper and stuff. And it's just about, I don't know, just like being more kind of like keeping the evasion in check, right? I had a point and then I lost it. I'm going senile. Rip me. Right? So avoiding too many of these highs. Focus on what answers relax. Focus on what is a reliable hitbox that is less likely to get stuffed by whatever random evasive shit that he does. So more powerful mids. Just keep poking away at him. And if you and it's a combination of mids and also just kind of being like, okay, in this situation, I will just get some chip damage with down 4 and down 3+4. C'est la vie. And then you move on, take the reset to neutral, and until you just keep chipping away at him until you force him into making a mistake, right? If you have the life lead, don't rush in at this Eddy. I don't think it happened too often. It was just that one round where I mentioned it already. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. If you have the life lead, don't rush in on Eddy. Again, ask yourself, why are you rushing in? What is the Eddy doing that is like, ah, fuck, I gotta answer this, right? It's not like he has some long range and blockable that's gonna steal the health lead. It's not like Yoshi where he's like healing or something at far ranges, right? There's nothing Eddy can do when he doesn't have the life lead. He has to approach you, and then when he approaches you, his approach is not necessarily going to have the same sort of bullshit evasiveness that his defensive keep out tools do, right? So try to force that situation as much as you can. Force the Eddy to approach you, and then start seeing, all right, what does he like to approach with? How do I answer that? Yeah, neutral stuff, I'm kind of drawing blanks. I'm not going to try and like force it and listen to fucking the sounds of silence for too long. I'm just gonna move on. Try to ask around and see like try to check out the Eddy channel and see like, hey, what are some notable like pokes and stuff that I should be utilizing more, right? Punishment / matchup knowledge. It felt like you were just very unsure and not familiar with recognizing what was whiffing and what wasn't, right? Every whiff opportunity is either A whiff punish, or B, a sort of opportunity for a poke or repositioning, right? The opponent will be whiff recovering. As long as you're not too far out, you can sort of readjust yourself or go in for like a little bit of chip damage with a low or a throw. But the entire time it felt like that you just weren't familiar with Eddy's moves and just kind of like, oh, okay, he whiffed something. Like he would whiff something and then nearly a full second later, then you would do some move as if it were like a whiff punish, like a down forward 2 or a dark upper. Part of it could be lag, but part of it could also just be you're not very familiar with like the animations and stuff. So I think your best bet is honestly just finding another Eddy player and grinding out this matchup to some degree, because you just gotta start like recognizing these things, right? Or you just sort of develop that skill yourself of like recognizing, okay, my opponent whiffed something, let me go for a whiff punish or poke or something, right? That was like the only critical thing I saw. Of like, okay, the Eddy whiffed something, and then you kind of just threw that opportunity, like let it go. As far as block punishment goes, there wasn't that much blocked. This is a situation again where it's kind of like you just got to learn the strings and just become more familiar with, okay, what are my options here? What can I do? What can I not do? Etc. 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 Right. Combos / Oki. Oh, yeah. Hold up. What the fuck was that in the first round? Because you got one round, right? Yeah, okay, I was like right here. Oh, I'm lying to you. Okay. You get the throw here, and you do down 2. And at first I didn't think about it. I was just like, oh yeah, down 2 is like a decent ass poke, right? Why'd you do down 2? Down 2 is not like it's a good move. It's a good mid poke, sure, and I do like the move. But the Eddy was waking up, right? He had to answer what you were going to do, right? Did he? Did he? So he you get the throw. No, he just kind of blocked it. Uh, Take more advantage of your Oki situations, right? No matter what the Eddy does, uh, from that situation, get recovering from the headbutt throw. He's gonna have to eat whatever you throw at him, right? So forward four. This is where you want to use forward four. This is where you want to, if you think, all right, he's just gonna wake up and stand block, crash dash into a throw or throw him again, etc., etc., etc. I think you just kind of like tossed away your turn using down two, right? When your opponent's back is to the wall, I feel like you could pump up the pressure a little bit, be more of an aggressor. Yeah, so that can be utilizing forward forward, that can be utilizing like forward forward neutral two, etc. Oh, my allergies rip me. I'm gonna die. That was like the only critical part that I noticed on Oki. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, why'd you just give up your turn like that, right? Combos looked solid, and there didn't seem to me like it's like, yeah, solid. Wait, was it just pokes? Yeah, I get this is tough. It's just kind of like a presence of mind thing of being awareness when you get refloats and stuff like that. Like if you get because this was a float, right? You float him while standing for right, like right there. That should have been down back 2-4, right? And it is not like amazing damage, maybe like 40 to 50 because it was like some aerial refloat combo or some shit. But that is way more than while standing for refloat into down back 4 and all whatever happened there. So try to practice the situations, that presence of mind of like, okay, time to capitalize on the float combo, because more importantly, any combo would at least net you a bit more damage, but more importantly, take him to the wall, which is where you want him to be. You want to try and restrict the Eddy's movement as much as possible, because the moment this turns into an infinite stage, you're fucked, right? The Eddy can just backdash to infinity and beyond, and it's just not a fun time for you. So try to be very mindful of that. Talking about punishment, personal opinion stuff, right? These are options that I think are neat, but your mileage may vary, and how you play is up to you. It's tough. There's not really much that I'm like, yeah, use this move. This like kills Eddy or some shit. All right, just dash blocking. Dash blocking is your friend, right? Don't commit to these moves on approach. Like right there, you just died because you committed to the slash kick, right? And focus more on, if your opponent's using a lot of keep out, you have to bait out the move and then aim for as much whiff punishment as you can. Sometimes, like right there, right? Like you baited it out, boom, perfect. Throw into guaranteed grounded hit 3, whatever that move is. So utilize your movement, right? Imagine you're the fucking Eddy and you're seeing like this 9 foot tall furry in bondage gear wave dashing at you. That's pretty frightening, right? You don't want this guy to put his hands on you. That shit, he'll take you to pain town, like one-way ticket, right? Utilize that. Utilize your movement to bait whiffs from the opponent, to sort of see what they're gonna do, right? There's the usual. I like forward neutral too. +7 on hit low. That's unseeable, and it is just like, counter hit launcher, busted, right? Obviously, it's a bit more tricky with Eddy because he can always crush stuff. So it goes back into just focus on utilizing like wall standing 4 and other just kind of like mids, and try to make him sort of think like, okay, make him rethink utilizing all of his, spammable buttons that just kind of jump all over the place and evade a bunch of shit, right? Once you're able to sort of slow down his pace and make him play like a more compact, a more sort of what's what I'm looking for, reserved game, then you're able to utilize your basic ass Tekken tools a bit more effectively. And that's just kind of the overarching theme. You need to play more compact and just focus on punishing and poking and frustrating the Eddy and not getting baited into diving headfirst into his keep out, right? And so then once the Eddy slows down his game and tries to go for more risky opening up attempts and mix-ups and stuff like that, then you can get to, utilize your punishment kit a bit more, utilize your whiff punishment kit a bit more, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of the overarching theme. Is a lot of it is don't overextend and lab this matchup so that you're a bit more familiar with recognizing, like, visually what's going on and stuff like that. Make sure you lab slippery kicks. I'm pretty sure wall standing one whiffs, because wall standing one's still god fucking shit. So make sure you're delayed hop kicking that. I don't think it's like perfect, but it's probably more consistent, because delayed hop kicks got buffed and all that fun stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's just my 2 cents, man. First impressions of, hey, here's what I saw in the match. Here's what I think you can do. So explore it, see how it goes. I tag Steve, and whenever he comes out of his cave, he'll chime in if he has anything else he wants to say, stuff like that, and explore the other channels. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I hope this helped. A lot of it is just me rambling. If you'd prefer more focused feedback, like if you had more questions, feel free to ask them. Just let us know. Everybody in the AK Discord is super helpful. They're really nice. Even Kangu. Sorry, Kangu. Love you. But yeah, they're always ready to help out with questions and stuff. Try to pinpoint your your questions a bit more, right? Because it's very difficult for someone to just kind of go, hey, what do I do in the Eddy matchup? And it's like, there's a lot. Like, where do you want to start, right? So if you think about like your experiences past with Eddy, what are your key areas that you feel like you're really struggling on, and try to see like, okay, what are some ways to improve in those areas, right? All right. I've rambled on for long enough. Have a good one.